50 most interesting and curious facts about antelopes. 1. Antelopes are quite a diverse group of animals. It includes different species, animals the size of rabbits dik-dik, and those the size of bulls canna. 2. The antelope. Antelope is the common name for mammalian animals in the clade of cloven-hoofed animals, family Bovidae, lat. Bovidae. The name antelope comes from the Middle Greek word nu theta lambda omicron psi, meaning horned animal. Indeed, each species of this large, interesting group boasts its own peculiar crown. 3. The classification of antelope species is unstable and has no clear structure. Antelope species include all horned animals that are not included in other genera, families, and subfamilies. Currently, there are more than 100 species of these animals. 4. Antelopes have perfectly adapted to a variety of climatic conditions. If you look at the habitat of these animals, you can confidently say that they are literally scattered all over the planet. 5. Horned beauties are not only found in the savannas of Africa. Some antelope species are found in the steppe expanses of Central Asia, Europe, Caucasus, Alps, India, North and South America. 6. The species of antelope are very different. This motley group of animals includes several families and subfamilies: true antelopes, saber rats, saber-horned antelopes, roe deer, roe antelopes, cow antelopes, bulbuls, pygmy antelopes, water goats, villaroses, impalas, some bulls and goats, crested antelopes, duikers. 7. Although different species of antelope belong to different genera and subfamilies, they are all united by some distinctive features. Some animals have graceful builds, others are heavier and more massive, but all antelopes have long, slender legs. 8. If you look at the representatives of all the families, you can notice that their horns are completely different. They differ not only in diameter, but also in length, from 2 centimeters to 1.5 m, color and shape. This bone formation, unlike the antlers of deer and Weilerhoppers, is firmly connected with the skull and does not branch. 9. The animals roam in large herds and are divided into 4 groups, vintales. In this group, the males have spiral horns and the animals are very large. They live in savannas that are overgrown with bushes, duikers. This group of antelope lives in Africa in the bushes. Interestingly, the characteristic feature of this species of antelope is a zigzag hopping when running, which would confuse any pursuer, saber-horned and equine antelopes. Large and medium-sized antelopes are present in the herd here, gazelles. These are slender beauties. 10. Antelopes share similarities with bulls, as their hooves are similar, and the species of such animals are called paired-hoofed. All species of antelope can be categorized as ruminants. They can eat plants, swallowing them first, and then slowly chewing them during their resting period. Horns are the most important attribute of antelopes, and it is by this attribute that they resemble bulls. The wildebeest is one of the most famous herbivores of Africa. They received their unusual, and even slightly menacing name for their mooing sounds. 12. In 2009, paleontological scientists in Kenya discovered an ancient antelope. So far, the animal has only the scientific name Rosingorix atopocranian. The ancient herbivore lived about the same place where the famous new antelope lives now. The skeleton, which is several thousand years old, is very well preserved. This allowed scientists to establish that the structure and appearance of the animal were almost identical to those of the new antelope. Only one detail stands out: there are bone combs in the nose of the ancient mammal, which worked like vuvuzela pipes. Similar mechanisms allowing for ultrasonic communication were found in some dinosaur species. 13. South African Bushmen regard the antelope as the embodiment of the Supreme Being, the creator of the Kagna world, and in Mali as the central hero of a religious cult that gifted humans with the skills of agriculture. 14. Not all antelopes have only 2 horns. Small animals, about 60 centimeters in height, live in India. The 4-horned antelope, of all the horned antelopes, boasts 2 pairs of bony growths. Now this species is threatened because the animal has been actively hunted because of its unusual head and tasty meat. 15. Antelopes inhabit deserts, semi-deserts, steppes, forests, mountainous areas, swamps, and reservoirs. 16. The Canna antelope is the largest animal in the hollowhorn family. It can grow to 2 to 3 meters in height, and its appearance resembles that of a bull, but it weighs from 500 to 1,000 kilograms. Despite its no-nonsense size, this African antelope with long horns looks very slender. 17. The male canna grows a lock of hair on its head all its life. You can tell the age of the animal by these tufts. In older antelopes, the strand is long and thick. 18. Impalas boast some of the most beautiful decorations on their heads. This African antelope with long horns, about 1 meter, curved in a wedge, proudly wears a V-shaped crown. 19. Antelopes, like any herbivore, have stereoscopic vision. Their eyes are located on both sides of the head, which provides an almost all-round view. These herbivores, unlike carnivores, have excellent color vision, which makes it possible to determine the edibility of vegetation. Their eyes focus on stationary objects and are almost unable to see anything in the absence of light. 20. Sneaking up on a single antelope is a very difficult task. These animals are almost never alone. They live in their own herd families, which allows them to observe almost the whole area around them. If one of the herds spots a predator, it will immediately alert all the others with a special signal. 21. The king, or pygmy, antelope is considered the smallest in its group. It is less than 30 centimeters in height and weighs less than 4 kilograms. 22. Antelopes sleep very little. During the day, they occasionally doze off standing up or lying down with their legs tucked up. In case of danger, the animal immediately wakes up and starts to flee. 23. Many antelopes have a well-defined seasonal breeding pattern. The mating games begin in February or April, towards the end of the rainy season. Each species expects to have babies as early as the beginning of the wet season, when food is plentiful. 24. Antelope pregnancy lasts differently. The larger the size of the individual in the species, the longer the time the cub is carried. For example, the canna, an African antelope with long horns, carries her cubs for 9 months, and the tiny dik-dik for 6 months. 25. Antelope cubs are born strong enough to be on their feet in just a few minutes. Most cubs begin to follow their mother immediately. In some species of hornbills, the cubs hide in special shelters. 26. Saigas, or marsupials, live in the steppe expanses of Asia. This slightly clumsy antelope, all of whose species were threatened with extinction until some time ago, is easily recognizable. Its large nose, which hangs down to its lower lip, is a peculiar adaptation to the harsh living conditions. The proboscis allows it to filter air heavily clogged with dust. 27. The Asian steppes have very hot, dry summers and cold winters with strong winds. That is why saigas' coats change seasonally, thin in summer and dense with undercoat in winter. 28. The saiga's nose is able to regulate the temperature and humidity of incoming oxygen. A large number of blood vessels in the trunk heat or cool the air, and the mucous membranes soften air that is too dry. The nose is also capable of making various sound signals. 29. The veloro, an African antelope with long horns, has very good eyesight. Its large eyes, located on the sides of the head, work like powerful binoculars. Scientists have calculated that the velorot sees everything as clearly as a lens with 8 times magnification. 30. In Asia Minor and Europe, the antelope is a lunar animal associated with the Great Mother. 31. Gerenuk, or giraffe gazelle, has a very interesting appearance. The animal's name quite accurately describes her. Its long, very thin neck and legs allow the gerenuk to reach leaves on the highest branches. 32. The giraffe gazelle is 95 centimeters tall, at withers, and weighs a very small 30 to 50 kilograms. Small black horns are found only on males. The body of the animal is slender with a reddish color.